What's going on, people? Well, did it on to video number 4. This is it. Then I can spend the weekend editing a bunch of stuff. Down there, side of the box, right? Looks a little bit familiar, right? For the most part, you would think that it's just going to be a standard experience, but it is not. This right here is the Nike Air Max Plus Drift in the black or anthracite colorway. Sounds like your standard stuff, right? But it's not, because it's all this carbon fiber in there. We'll get into it in a second. Down there across the bottom, see that? Yeah, standard outsole that you've seen on a lot of the Air Max Pluses or the Air Max Plus Drifts, right? Nothing too different, not a big departure from it. Moving on up here to the midsole, same thing, right? Very familiar looking, all blacked out and stuff, because that's the thing that makes sense. The only part where it isn't, as it often is, on the inside here, if you look at that back bubble there, that they did go with the standard red and yellow. Again, I don't know the significance of that choice, but that's the thing that they did on all the Air Max Pluses. At least every pair that I've seen, and I've seen a good number of them, right? Now, giving you some pictures in here so you can see what all's going on, right? It's not a lot, right? It's basically an Air Max Plus Drift, just all black, with a little bit of a shine here and there, right? But otherwise, it's a lot less to the eye than basically every other pair, because every other pair seemed like very colorful. At least a lot of them did. But whatever, it is what it is. We're going to get in here. I'll show you like a couple close-ups so you can get your mind around it, but really there's not a lot to see. So down here, like I was saying, it's going to be that standard rubbery exoskeleton type of thing, but down where there used to be mesh, there is now carbon fiber. It's a thing that kind of makes sense, right? Like if you want like a utility type of shoe or whatever, you know, something durable for the weather and stuff, yeah, this is probably a good idea. I mean, I haven't worn it yet, so I can't really say. I've only worn it in here. But I saw them. I thought this could be something to have, and wouldn't mind a newer Air Max model, you know, to try out. And this came along, like, well, cool, it's new, but it's also not new. So I know that I'm going to get something good out of it. But whatever, so that's kind of how things are looking down there, right? And that's even going to be down here on the tongue and stuff. Everything is going to have that same sort of treatment. And as you get to the top of the tongue, I'm not doing it again because I don't feel like flipping this thing over. But I had mentioned before in the past video that there's like an extra layer here, which is like, I don't know what's going on with that. But then somebody pointed out that if you flip it over, there's a TN logo under there. So that's something. Otherwise, these laces you have, they do feel weird. I'm not a huge fan of it, and they're small, ropey laces. I don't know if that was the standard from the same as the last Air Max Plus Drift, because I haven't worn those in forever, right? I haven't seen those since I last wore them, so I don't know, honestly. But we'll jump on to the inside. Down in there, everything you expected, right? Blacked out with the TN logo. So there you go. Like I said, not a whole lot going on with these because, again, right? So I'm going to hit you some personal thoughts and whatnot, and then we will move on to some sizing and all that good stuff and the comfort, you know? Personally, I think that these are working out pretty alright as far as like a visual component goes, right? Because I looked at them and I thought, okay, this is going to be all blacked out, sure, but maybe like this carbon fiber thing will make it look kind of cool. And it does. It looks like really cool, actually. I'm a huge fan of that. So wearing this whole thing, it's gonna be a little weird to get used to because it's a different material or whatever. But just taking it off of the personal thing, when I saw them online initially through whatever article just happened to pop up in my Google news feed, I was like, huh, that's intriguing. And they came out and I saw that they were, you know, decently priced. I can't remember what the price was exactly. I just knew it made sense, but I didn't want to pay it. And so then I waited out a sale, and now here we are. And looking at them in hand, everything's being delivered as I expected it to. So it's just a pretty cool idea that they went with here. I don't know if this is like a thing that they do regularly. I don't think I've seen any other carbon fiber Air Max models out there. I mean, somebody else that pays more attention to the shoe world can definitely correct me on that. But this seems like it's not a common thing. But again, like I said, I could be wrong. So, I don't know. We'll see if anybody wants to respond in the comments. But I like these a fair amount, minus the complaint about the weight. But we'll get into that in a second here. So, as far as like that personal thoughts things, yeah, obviously I like them, right? But we're going to get into the sizing and whatnot, and I'll tell you some other stuff to consider. So let's go ahead and do that. Sizing wise, right? I bought these in a 9.5 because that is the thing that made sense to me, right? And they're fitting exactly like the last Air Max Pluses for the most part, right? It's a roomy-ish sort of feel in some ways. I think it's probably just because like maybe the carbon fiber, I don't know, or maybe it's just because they just feel big and bulky. But I went true to size. It's working out fine for me. Take that from that. Now, walking around in them though, right? Like they felt like super rigid, right? And the other things, they're mesh, so I feel like, yeah, it'll just break in over time, right? This, it's carbon fiber. I don't know what's going to happen with that. It's just like, is it going to, or is it just going to be like this? I have no idea how carbon fiber works. It's like magnets, right? It's just like a mystery of science or something. So I'm just going to go with this for now and hope that it plays out all right. Because at the end of the day, I bought these largely for like concerts and bad weather and stuff like that. So the functionality for them in that capacity, no problem, right? Daily wear capacity, I think you probably want something else. Honestly, I feel like breathability is also going to suffer here, but whatever. Moving on past that though, under the foot comfort, that is where you would expect it to be, right? So like walking around in an Air Max Plus or an Air Max DN even, like I feel like these are pretty solid. I got no complaints down there. I mean, you did definitely notice like with each step still, because you have to lift your foot off the ground. It feels like they weigh like 10 pounds each, but that's another thing, right? So all in all, like looking at these here, I'm cool with them as far as how they were made and what they do. It's just, I don't like that they're super extra heavy. The Air Max Plus Drift is already heavy, people. And this just adds to it. So know that going into it. Otherwise, though, if you're buying these like I did for a certain functionality, certain purpose, yeah, you're going to get what you need. But if you're just buying these, oh, cool, blacked out shoe, look a little closer, people. Look a little closer. So there's going to be that, right? Covered everything. I don't know. Maybe I did. From me to you, have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, whatever's wherever you are. That's all for. I am now done with these. Might do a little live later. Got some new cards in the mail, so might unbox those. We'll see what happens. Later, people.